The canopy is spider-webbed. Blood slicks the stick. Over occupied France, Miller's R-2800 coughs black smoke. 3 flak bursts hit his P-47, oil cooler, wing root, then the rudder cables. 30 miles behind enemy lines, he's sinking 200 feet a minute. Near the end, you'll see what the ground crews found inside that engine. June 12, 1944. Northern France. The 56th Fighter Group is sent to crack a railroad yard near Chartres. Miller flies Jug number 26, a P-47 D-25 with 8 50 caliber Brownings and a pair of 1,000-pound bombs slung under the belly. The brief is blunt: drop the load, rake the tracks, hit anything rolling, then vanish back west. But one thing owns this mission: Flak. German 80s ring every yard, bridge and crossroads. Crews pre-sight the approaches. They learn the common altitudes, they learn the dive angles, and they set their fuses so the shells burst right where a fighter has to be. Dark puffs that look harmless until the fragments start ripping skin off aluminum. The P-47 can dive like a stone and run like a thief. But in the last seconds, lining up a target, speed bleeds away. You level out, you correct, you hold steady. And steady is what the gunners are praying. Miller releases at 4,000 feet. His bombs walk through the marshalling yard. 2 clean impacts, cars buckling, smoke punching up. He snaps into the strafing pass, nose down, guns about to speak. And that's when the sky turns into a wall of black bursts. Here's what Miller doesn't know yet. The flak is coming up in clusters, timed like a net. Miller drops to 50 feet and shoves the throttle full forward. The Jug surges, 380 miles per hour. The hedgerows smear into a green streak. Trees flash past the wingtips so close he can feel them. He picks a locomotive on the line, centers the nose and squeezes. 8 Brownings hammer at once. Tracers stitch the boiler, metal sparks, then steam erupts in a white blast that swallows the engine for a heartbeat. The next burst is different. It's not a puff in the distance, it's a punch. The whole airframe shudders, the nose dips. The cockpit fills with the sharp stink of hot oil. Engine temperature jumps. Oil pressure drops from 70 to 40 in 3 seconds. Something vents into the slipstream, a mist ripping back along the canopy. He hauls the stick and trades speed for altitude. He needs 6,000 feet to bail out with a chance. But the problem isn't just the engine. The controls feel wrong. Heavy, delayed, sloppy. The rudder pedals go loose under his boots. He banks left and the Thunderbolt wallows like it's flying through wet cement. The right rudder cable is gone. He's steering with trim tabs and instinct, fighting the torque with one good hand. The engine still runs, but the numbers start sliding. 2,000 RPM, 1,800, 1,600, and then the sound changes, but then it changes. Miller is at 4,000 feet, still 28 miles from friendly lines. The oil temperature needle is buried past the red. The oil pressure is collapsing, 20 pounds and falling. The R-2800 can take abuse, but not this kind. With the oil cooler punched, there's nothing left to carry heat away. The cylinder heads are cooking. He can smell scorched metal through the shattered canopy. Every second at this power setting is eating the engine from the inside, and the problem is time. If he eases the throttle back, the Jug stops flying like a jug. He sinks faster. He becomes an easy target. If he keeps the power on, the engine seizes, and the prop turns into a dead disc, right over occupied France. Then another warning light flickers into his brain. Fuel. The right wing tank is leaking, a thin stream vanishing into the slipstream. His gauge is dropping in a way it never should. 30 minutes, maybe less. He does the math without meaning to. Miles, minutes, altitude, wind. His left arm goes numb. Shrapnel from the canopy punched his shoulder and blood is soaking the sleeve, warm at first, then cold. The stick feels heavier with every correction. His vision tightens at the edges. He reaches for the radio. Nothing. The set is dead. No call, no escort, no rescue. Now it gets worse. Miller drops through 3,000 feet, 15 miles to go. The engine starts missing like a man running out of breath. One cylinder quits, then another. The prop bites unevenly, and the vibration climbs until it rattles his teeth and blurs the gun sight. The cockpit feels smaller, hotter. The wind screams through the cracked canopy. He has 2 choices, and both are ugly. Bail out now over occupied France. Get captured, get shot, or land in the wrong field and disappear. or stay with the aircraft and gamble that the engine doesn't explode and turn the nose into shrapnel. The P-47 has a reputation. 7 tons of metal wrapped around the biggest fighter engine of the war. Pilots call it the Jug because it's thick, blunt, and hard to kill. But reputation isn't armor. Men have died in burning cockpits. Men have watched their radials torch in front of them and had no time to leave. His right hand drifts to the canopy release. He looks down through the haze. German troops move along the roads. Trucks, half-tracks, columns threading between hedgerows. If he bails out here, he won't last an hour. He shoves the throttle forward, even as the vibration worsens. The decision is made. He's riding this Thunderbolt to friendly lines or into the ground. Now the problem becomes fire. Smoke pours from the cowling. Then orange flame licks back along the fuselage. This is the moment. The fire keeps spreading. Miller can feel the heat through the firewall, a dry, rising burn like an oven door left open. The instrument panel flickers and goes dark. The airspeed indicator is shattered. The altimeter needle is stuck, frozen around 2,200 feet. He's navigating by rivers, roads, and pure desperation. Up front, the R-2800 is no longer an engine. It's a dying machine. It's running on 4 cylinders now, maybe 3. The power comes in lurches. Oil streams back over the windscreen, turning the world into a greasy blur. He wipes at it with a glove and smears it worse. The Jug is sinking at 250 feet a minute. He does the math again. At this rate, he has maybe 8 minutes of altitude left before the hedgerows reach up and grab him, and the problem is the controls. With hydraulic pressure gone and cables damaged, every correction takes full strength. The stick fights him like it's bolted in place. His wounded shoulder screams every time he moves. His fingers go numb on the grip. He can't tell if he's squeezing too hard or not hard enough. Then he tries the throttle. It's stuck at 70%. He pulls. Nothing. He pushes. Nothing. The engine is going to tear itself apart at this setting. In the mirror, flame is visible now. Steady, bright, not a flicker. The whole cowling is burning. The only thing between him and an inferno is a steel firewall and whatever mercy he has left. Now he's out of options. Miller crosses the front line at barely 800 feet. Friendly territory at last. Tracers and smoke are behind him now. But the problem isn't solved. He still has to land a burning aircraft with dead hydraulics and a wounded arm. He spots an emergency strip ahead, short, narrow, nothing like a proper base. Men on the ground are already running, waving panels, lining up trucks. The radio in his headset is only static. He can't talk. He can only fly. He reaches for the gear. With hydraulic pressure gone, the handle feels useless. He works the emergency system anyway. Pull, hold, wait, listening for the clunk that never comes. The wheels don't drop clean. One leg hangs half-locked, trembling in the slipstream. He can't risk a go-around. The engine is too hot, too damaged, too close to quitting. He makes one slow pass low over the strip, wings rocking. An old signal. I'm hurt. I'm coming in. They clear the runway. Foam glitters in the sun where they've laid it down to fight the fire. He turns on to final. Airspeed high, altitude thin. He eases the throttle back and the engine dies like a candle in wind. No restart. The Jug is a glider now. He holds it level, rides the belly onto the runway in a storm of sparks, and slides to a stop. But here's what they didn't know. The ground crew counts 87 flak holes in Miller's Thunderbolt. The engine took 11 direct hits. 2 cylinders were sheared clean off. The oil cooler was destroyed. Fuel lines were cut. The hydraulic reservoir was dry. The rudder was hanging on one cable. 18 inches of the right wing was simply gone. And still the R-2800 kept running for 34 minutes after the attack. That isn't luck. That is design. Republic built the P-47 around one brutal promise. Bring the pilot home. Armor plates stacked behind the seat. Self-sealing tanks that could take punctures and not pour fire into the cockpit. Redundant control runs so one cut cable didn't end the story. A big, thick airframe that could soak fragments and keep flying. After missions like Miller's, commanders leaned harder into what the Jug did best. The priority shifted to fighter-bomber work. Low strikes, rail yards, convoys, where speed, dive strength and sheer toughness mattered more than elegance. Across Europe by late 1944, P-47 units had flown hundreds of thousands of sorties, and their loss rates in the ground attack role were among the lowest of any Allied fighter. When they pulled the cowling, the cylinders were blue with heat. The problem of flak wasn't solved. It was still waiting over every target, but the P-47 made it survivable. What they found next? Miller flew 18 more missions before he rotated home in October 1944. The shoulder healed in 6 weeks. The shrapnel didn't. It sat too close to the bone to chase out, so it stayed. One small piece of France carried under his skin for the rest of his life. After the war, he went back to Pennsylvania, turned wrenches for a living, married his high school sweetheart, raised 3 kids, and kept most of the war locked behind his teeth. But one date never let go. Every year on June 12th, he drove out to an airfield near Reading where a restored P-47 sat in polished metal. He would climb up, lower himself into the cockpit, and stay there for an hour. No speech, no stories, just hands on the stick, boots on the rudder pedals, breathing steady, listening to a memory you couldn't see. In 1998, Miller died of heart failure at 76. At the funeral, a friend played a recording of a Pratt Whitney R-2800 at full throttle. To Miller, that sound meant only one thing: you made it back. Republic built 15,686 Thunderbolts. Many returned with holes you could put a fist through and still kept flying. The Jug wasn't the fastest. It wasn't the prettiest. It didn't need to be. When Flak owned the sky and survival was the mission, nothing else came close.